Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about, can a narcissist change? One of the biggest questions ever. The fact that we think they can change just haunts us when it's over or when we're separated from them. But you need not be worried any longer, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, Zari Ballard here. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get going, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, and the like button if you like the video, and let's get right into it. One of the biggest questions, of course, and I've kind of touched on it before, is whether or not a narcissist can change. The answer is a big fat no. They can't. The reason why you worry about that is because in the back of your mind, you want to think, maybe he or she isn't a narc. Maybe they're just a person with issues. Maybe they just had a bad childhood. Maybe they just don't know how to treat people. Maybe they just don't have social skills. All that. But the fact that you're watching this video, calling me, reading book after book, reading article after article, scouring the internet, is because you know that your partner or ex-partner is a narc. Again, this is a disorder based upon behaviors. You all know what those behaviors are. Let's just go through it step by step. Do they know right from wrong? My answer to that is, oh, they know right from wrong. They just don't give a shit. It's a narcissistic ideology that doing the wrong thing makes a narc feel better. They're going to keep doing the wrong thing. They have to throw in the right thing here and there, but they're eventually going to do the wrong thing because the wrong thing is the only thing that makes them feel like a whole person. They're not comfortable with doing the niceties. They're just not. So they're not going to, if they didn't do it with you and they didn't do it with the person before you, they're not going to do it with the person next to you. Once you have that feeling of superiority or a false sense of entitlement, you can't change that. No one is going to convince you that you're the evil dude or the evil bitch. You're not going to be able to convince a narc of that. They're not going to change their stripes. Now they're going to make it appear as such. And social media, which is the mindfuckery of all mindfuckery, they're going to make it appear that they've changed, that they've done everything that they didn't do with you because you weren't worthy or deserving of those niceties. That's a bunch of bullshit. I've had a couple of clients that have called me that have had the opportunity, and I won't go into the details of it, but pretty amazing opportunities to see like a bird's eye view of what the narcissist is doing after the breakup. And this is through conversations with new girlfriends, through catfishing, through a misplaced Wi-Fi connection, a bunch of things. Okay. And what they saw, and I told them, this is an amazing opportunity. The fact that you're able to be a fly on the wall. And they saw nothing new. I actually wondered. I mean, when I first found out, like what was happening, and they called me and said, "You're not going to believe what's happened. I can actually see." Dink. I was like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." Normally, I would discourage that kind of behavior, but I got to admit, I was curious. I wanted to know what they were going to find out, and you know what? They found out nothing new. Nothing. They were able to know that their ex, or even their partner, a couple times when they were still together, was with someone else and calling them, or with someone else and on Tinder, or with someone else and just doing things that aren't conducive to them being in a relationship. It's easy to let our mind wander, to imagine them laughing, having great sex, and all that kinds of stuff. And you know what? Maybe that is happening in the beginning because the love bombing stage, we all know what goes on in there. okay, which is a bunch of bullshit anyway, because we know what happens after that. You do not have any reason to believe that the narc is going to change. None. You know the history. You know the history. If you know what went on before and then with you, what would make you think that it would be any different later? So you're going to stay around just because it's one of those things where, I don't want him, but I don't want anyone else to have him. Don't live your life by that. It's very dangerous. That thought will keep us in very bad relationships just because we don't want them with somebody else, even though they're probably going to be with somebody else anyway. It's crazy shit, isn't it? If you can think about him changing, if you kind of believe that he could possibly be changing, then you don't believe he's a narc. Narcs don't have that capability. Sure, they can act as such, and they have to act differently in every relationship because every partner that they get is different. So that alone, it changes the dynamic of it a little bit. So you have to, but I don't want you looking around. I don't want you trying to find out who he's with. It's just not. The opportunities that these girls got, I had to say, I was curious. I was like, okay, well, let me know what happens. Yeah. But it never, not one time in any of those stories, even though they had like a front row seat, they found nothing new. In fact, they just saw it continuing on. We can't wrap our head around that because hopefully, we learn from our mistakes. And we'll try not to make those same mistakes again. A narc doesn't learn from their mistakes because to them, they're not mistakes. Somebody else is to blame. All that. We know how they are. They blame everybody else for everything. You, when you're in the relationship, were to blame for everything that happened. In that kind of way of thinking, they can just move through life. And believe me, narcs can be married 5 times, 4 times, have many relationships that end in the same manner because they are who they are. And they're never going to look at that. Think about that. Who does that? A narc. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over. But guess what? They don't expect a different result. Okay, so to them, it's not insanity. They basically know that how it's going to end. They know from previous history how the relationship will roll, and they're really okay with it because to them that is completely normal. It's the way they live. It's their lifestyle. It's the narcissistic lifestyle. It's an ideology with a lifestyle. It's a disorder based upon behaviors. Do not lose sight of that. Do not imagine that the narc is having these wonderful times with another person. It may look that way. She may even think it's that way. He may even think it's that way. But you know it's not. You have to be confident, and I say this all the time. You have to be confident in the truth that you know, which is what just happened. Okay? What just happened, what's been happening for the last year, 10 years, 20 years, all that. Nothing's going to change. Nobody just changes. It just doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't happen that way. I'm going to take a minute to talk about compartmentalization. A narcissist is a compartment manager. Compartmentalization is the way they live. Compartmentalization is how they juggle many relationships or many worlds without those worlds colliding. They're able to keep you in a compartment, her in a compartment, him in a compartment, them in a compartment. He's the key holder. And he just moves from compartment to compartment. Walks in, deals with that compartment, because he adapts instantly as soon as he walks in the door. And the narcissist, sets the environment in your compartment from day one, and it never changes. It never changes. The only thing that that creates strife is when you buck the system. And then he'll figure out a way to change that. But you won't even know what's going on in the next compartment. Okay, so you can't really even imagine it. Just know that the same thing is going on in all the compartments. They're never going to be loyal. It may appear they're loyal, but they're just not. They've got too many things going on, and narc has to stay busy. And don't always go by what other people tell you. You heard that your ex is just really, him and his new girl and are just getting along just great. Maybe they're even getting married. They'll do that. When they've done everything that there is to do, they've just broken a zillion hearts and left all kinds of destruction in their wake. What's left to do? Get married. Either get married the first time or get married again. They've got to change it up to make them look good. But if they're still the assholes that they are, they'll always be that. Here's one final thing. Let's pluck narcissism out of the equation for a minute. Bad relationships do exist. You can't expect every relationship that you get into to work out great. So what is it about this one? Is it because they're so unavailable that you just want to know why? Why are they so unavailable? Why are they so sneaky? Why can they hurt you with no and expect no consequences? Why can they disappear and reappear? Why do they triangulate, try to make you feel jealous about other people? Why would they do that? Because they're a narc. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. In fact, don't analyze it at all. I'm telling you, you don't have to analyze it at all. It's not worth your headspace. We give them a lot of headspace, even when they're not with us. That's wrong. Why would we do that? Okay? They just continue on. Your suffering doesn't change anything. When they leave, when you break up with them, you can suffer all you want. They're going to come back or they're not going to come back. When they do, they're going to act like nothing happened. They're going to press the reset button and you're going to have wasted all that time suffering. I learned that. About 3 years before it ended, and I stopped suffering, and that is how I finally got myself on track. So when it was finally over, I didn't give a fuck. It was over. I felt a little sad, but after 13 years of crying my eyes out, I was like, wow, is this all there is to it? So anyway, just a quick video today because I hear the question all the time, can a narc change? The answer is a big fat no, N-O. They can't change. They're never going to change. I don't care what appears on social media. I don't care what your friends tell you. I don't care if you even read it in a book. I don't care if you look at it on a website. No, a narc cannot change. So go forth and be happy. If you need me, you can call me. I do offer consultations, and they always work. It's always fun, and it's a very informative learning experience for both of us. Check out the link in the description. My books are on Amazon and also on Audible. And I'm going to be having a new book coming out soon too. And at Barnes & Nobles and on iBooks. I'm all around. And at my website, thenarcissisticpersonality.com. So you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. This is Zari Ballard, and this is the When Love is Alive video blog podcast. Bye.